जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण
Narasimha Jaya Ananta Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Jaya
Jaya Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar
Jaya Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar Nitai Gausundar Jaya Nitai Gausundar
Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva
Jaya Panchadata Jaya Panchadata Panchadata Jaya Panchadata
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvatam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to this Bhagavad Gita class. So in ISKCON Whitefield, every day we have we take one verse from Bhagavad Gita and we discuss this. So this Monday to Friday, every weekday we do that. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to come together and discuss the Bhagavad Gita, which is very rare in this age of Kali Yuga. And we see that there's so many opportunities outside to be engaged, and then to gratify our senses materially. But coming together and discussing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in this age of Kali is very rare. So people who are actually doing it, they are very fortunate and very rare. In the very rarest of rare category. So it's only due to the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada took all troubles and all difficulties to preach the message of Krishna consciousness, to fulfill the instruction of his spiritual master. At the age of 70, we can see many people who try to retire at that time, or try to relax, and the body also don't work. The body don't work at that age. So difficult. All the organs are not working properly. But Srila Prabhupada, at that age, he decided to go to the West and then preach the message of Krishna consciousness, just to fulfill the instruction of spiritual master. The whole life he was preparing. And he had so many failures, but he never gave up. Just to fulfill the instruction of his spiritual master. And he had full faith on the holy names and the Lord, that the Lord is going to shower his mercy, and for sure this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is sure to be spreaded around the whole world. Because it's a prediction of Krishna, it's a prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So no one can stop it. Right? So we should let's be grateful to Srila Prabhupada that whatever opportunities we have in our lives, to have association of the devotees and to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all these transcendental literature is very, very rare. And if we have this opportunity, so it's only because of Srila Prabhupada. So with gratitude to Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas in the Guru Parampara, so we can begin our class, our session. So now we are at the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today's verse is 49. But before going to this verse, we can have a quick summary. So it's a very quick summary. In the first chapter, so what happens is Arjuna becomes bewildered and he decides that I will not fight. And he tries to convince he tries to give so many reasons to Krishna that these are the reasons, this is the reason because I don't want to fight, so this is the reason, this is the reason, this is the reason. So mainly he has 4 reasons. So we can just quickly go through so that we can have a background. So Arjuna tells Krishna that if I kill all my my relatives and all my brothers and all my family members and relatives, so even if I win the kingdom, right? Let's say I kill everyone, we kill everybody, and there is no one left in the enemies, and now we win the battle, and we will get the kingdom. So even if we get the kingdom, what's the point? There will be no one with whom I can share this happiness, right? The kingdom which I got, there is no one to share. So what's the point? I will not fight, right? So there's no point in enjoying the kingdom without the relatives, without someone with whom I can share that. So there's no point. So I will not fight. I don't want the kingdom. I don't want to enjoy the kingdom. So this is the first reason, or enjoyment. And second reason is that Arjuna tells that if I kill, all these my elders basically, so he is able to see his teacher Dronacharya, and we know that our elders are always worshipable. Our teachers, all the elders are always worshipable. So if I kill them, then who are worshipable, I will do sins or I will incur sins, and so many sinful reactions will come. Right? It's a sinful activity to kill the elders who are worshipable. Right? They are meant to be worshipped. Teacher, grandfather, all the elders. So this reason he gives sinful reactions. Right? I will get so many sinful. We will all get so many sinful reactions. Then Arjuna tells that if we kill all the elders of the family, so what will happen is because elders are able to, our elders are there to guide the family, right, on the religious path. If there are no elders, then the children or the lower generations will go into wrong paths, and they will be engaged in sinful activities, irreligious activities. So if we kill all the elders of the family in the war, then most of the families will not be having elders, and then what will happen is the women will be exploited, and the whole family will go into irreligious paths. And basically, if women are exploited, so the offsprings will be polluted or contaminated, right? Or we can also term it as Varna Sankara, right? It will be a disturbance in the society in terms of the next generations. So, and they will engage in all kinds of sinful activities, all kinds of irreligious activities, and the whole dynasty will be destructed slowly. It all starts from destruction or killing of all the elders in the family. So Arjuna gives like this reasons, these are broad reasons. So, and he tells that Krishna, I don't want to fight. And can you imagine the greatest warrior, or the greatest warriors who never, he's always been the best warrior, or always been greatest warrior, and he's so daksha in his archery. And he's saying that I don't want to fight. And the bow and the arrows, and the bow basically, the bow is the Gandiva, right? That's the bow of Arjuna. It's actually slipping from his hands, and he's sweating, and so basically he's getting completely bewildered and completely, he's losing his confidence. So, and we can relate this to our life, right? There's so many situations where we don't have confidence, and we don't have clarity in our life. Right? Which direction should I move into? Right? What action should I take, or what decision should I take at this point of time? So we all have this kind of battle, right? That's the battlefield of Kurukshetra in front of Arjuna. But we all have battles in our minds, right? Every day, every moment even. So we always have battles with our mind, right? We struggle with the mind, we always fight with the mind, or always have confusions or dualities like which decision to take at this particular moment. So we can actually very well relate Bhagavad Gita to our lives, practical lives. So that's the setup which Bhagavad Gita is having before Krishna begins to speak and inspire Arjuna. So the whole setup of Bhagavad Gita is to inspire Arjuna again to fight back, to fight basically, to stand up and fight. So basically we can see that Arjuna was bewildered and Krishna is inspiring him to fight, right? So what's there in between? So it's a transformation of the consciousness. Physically the whole situation is the same. Enemies are standing and Arjuna's army is also there. The whole setup is same before Arjuna is bewildered, or at the time when Arjuna is bewildered, and after Arjuna is inspired to fight again. Setup is the same, or the physical situation is the same. But what changes? The change is in the consciousness, right? Chetana. So consciousness gets uplifted. So that's what Bhagavad Gita does. It raises our consciousness level in our life so that we can have clarity in our life. What is the goal of life? And then we can lead our life to achieve that goal. That is what Bhagavad Gita is all about. So when we come to the second chapter, Krishna starts speaking, and then Krishna starts with analytical analysis. He starts with analysis. So Krishna tries to make Arjuna understand about body and soul. What is different? What is body and what is soul? What are the characteristics of body? What are the characteristics of soul? Right? And Krishna very well nicely explains that before this verse that a body is temporary and the soul is permanent. And there are many characteristics which Krishna talks about. That a soul is unbreakable, insoluble, and we cannot dry a soul. We cannot cut a soul, right? Because it is spiritual. So basically, Krishna tries to analytically explain the difference between a body and the soul. That body is temporary. So if you are seeing the other party or the other people who are standing in front of you on the bodily conception, then it's not proper. So because we are not these bodies, we are souls. So that's what Krishna tries to establish at the starting of the second chapter. So we can see that this body and soul concept is set up at the very starting of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita has how many chapters? Can anyone say? 18 chapters. So as in second chapter only Krishna establishes this concept, because this is the fundamental of spiritual life. If we don't understand that we are not the bodies, we are the spirit souls, we are spiritual beings, right? So then it's very difficult to move ahead. That's the basis, that's the fundamental. We can see Srila Prabhupada in many of his lectures, he's repeating this thing again and again. Many times Srila Prabhupada says that we are not the bodies, we are spirit souls. First try to understand this. Again he's saying. Why? Because to make us realize this. Right? It happens gradually, but this is the fundamental of the basis of spiritual life. So if the fundamental is not there, then the building will not stand, right? If we want to make a skyscraper, then the foundation should be that much strong. So foundation is very important. If we don't make foundation strong, then the building will collapse. Little bit earthquake and collapsed. So that's why this is the foundation of spiritual life. If we don't have this foundation, then there's no possibility of understanding the higher things. So this is analysis Krishna gives. After that, now just previous to this verse, Krishna says that okay. So in one of the verses, after that analysis, analytical study between body and soul, Krishna tells that now I will explain you about in terms of fruitive action. I will make you enlightened in terms of fruitive action. So then Krishna starts speaking about the activities. That if we are attached to the results of the activity, and there's a very nice verse, a very famous verse which many people from in all over the world they quote. So yeah, this one, verse number 47. karmanevadikaraste. Right? So yeah. So this verse is very famous. So Krishna tells that you have a right to perform your duty, prescribed duty. Now Krishna is inspiring Arjuna that see, as a kshatriya, you have a duty. If you don't do that, so you're not thinking that okay, if I don't kill, then I will be saved from the sins. Arjuna is thinking like this. So now Krishna turns the whole thing. So he tells that no, by not killing you will actually do sins or you will incur sins. Sinful reactions will come. But what Krishna is actually telling that you have to do your duty. As a kshatriya, you have a right to do your duty. And if you don't do that duty, don't perform that duty, then sinful reactions will come. Right? So we can see that there is a very nice system called Varna Ashrama. Okay. So we have 4 Varnas. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita only tells that when he creates the world, he actually sets up or establishes this Varnashrama Dharma. And so Varnas, what are Varnas? Right? So there are 4 categories of people, 4 categories, which is there everywhere. We cannot escape. So it's based on the nature of a person, or qualities of a person. Okay. So Krishna says that Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam means I have Srishtam means I have created. Chatur means 4, Varnam means Varnas. So Krishna tells that I have created these 4 orders, social orders of life. Right? So according to the nature of a person can be a Brahmana, a person can be either a Kshatriya, he can be a Vaishya, he can be a Shudra. So, and these are based on qualities, these are not based on birth. So some people say that, oh, this is caste system, you're trying to divide the society. Actually, yeah, this division is there already. We are not trying to divide the society, it's already there. Because these are based on the nature of the people, we can actually categorize, these are categories. Categorize the people in these 4 categories. And we can see this everywhere, even within us and within others. So a Brahmana, is a person who is always engaged in cultivating knowledge. Okay? He's always interested to cultivate knowledge, to acquire more and more knowledge, and specifically spiritual knowledge. Okay? But even if a person has a desire or a nature to cultivate more and more knowledge, still we can say that okay, he has a Brahminical nature. He has a Brahminical qualities. A Kshatriya, we can see that some people are naturally they want to lead, they want to have or control the administrative powers, and then they want to let's say fight, they want to join armed forces or something like that. They have Kshatriya nature, right? So these are based on natures. And then Vaishyas, they are naturally, they think about business. They want to, do business, and then whatever profit is there, they want to live on that. So some people don't want to do jobs and all. They naturally have this business mindset. Those are Vaishyas. And then Shudras are those who render services to all the other 3 categories of people. Okay. So this is a system which Krishna has made already. And we can see that all the people of this world, they fall into one of these categories for sure. There is no one can escape, and there is no 5th category, basically, in that terms, based on the nature. So now, as a Kshatriya, Krishna is saying that you have a right or duty to perform, that is to fight. If you don't fight, if you resist your nature, then what will happen is, you will actually incur sinful reactions will come. So please do your duty. But at the same time, it's a twist. Do your duty, don't escape. Okay? At the same time, here it is mentioned, never be attached. Okay, never be attached to not doing your duty, means do your duty, but never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Or, Krishna is saying you're not entitled to the fruits of the action. Don't be attached to the fruits or the results of the actions. Krishna is not saying that, okay, leave everything. Don't fight, leave everything. Just be idle, and if you don't do, then you'll be safe. No. Do your duty, but at the same time, don't be attached to the results. Right? So, Bhagavad Gita never inspires or never. Some people have this misunderstanding that if we read Bhagavad Gita, we'll leave everything or something. No. Krishna is very well nicely saying that you have a right from your duty. And Krishna is, the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is trying to inspire Arjuna. Fight. So it proves that Bhagavad Gita never, it doesn't promote escapism. Right? So, Bhagavad Gita inspires one to do his duty very nicely, but at the same time, not being attached to the fruits or the results. It's a very nice thing actually. And the next verse, Krishna tells that be equipoised. You know, perform your duty in an equipoised nature, in a balanced nature. So don't be attached to the happiness and distress. Don't be attached to failure and success. Be equipoised and just focus on your duties. That's it. That's how you'll be able to be successful. And that equipoised nature is called yoga. Okay. Now in this verse, which is the verse of today's verse, let's recite this verse. Maybe you can repeat after me. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam manvicha kripana padahetava. The translation. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So translation. O Dhananjaya, Krishna is saying, keep all the abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Okay. So we can see here actually, we can start with a very nice word called miser. Who is a miser? Can anyone say? What do we mean by miser? Who is a person who we can call miser? Anyone say? Who is a miserly person? What he does? Okay. So a miser in general terms is a person who has something very valuable but he doesn't utilize it properly. Right? Very, very valuable, he has a thing which is very valuable but he doesn't utilize it in a proper manner. That person is called miser. Just an example. A person, let's say, have a very posh car, let's say Mercedes. It's a very, very posh car. Now, instead of using that posh car in comfortable travel or journey, what he does is it uses that Mercedes car for plowing the field. Now, it is foolishness, right? It's a posh car. It's meant to be driven on the roads, nice roads. It's a very comfortable car, and you're using it for plowing the field, the farm. So that's a wrong use, right? And it's not meant to be used for that. So that's a miserly person. He has a very valuable thing, but he's not using it in a proper manner, in a proper course of action. So that person is called miser. He has a very valuable thing, very, very valuable, but he's not using it properly. So here Krishna tells that who is a miserly person actually, in terms of Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada actually is mentioning here that only misers desire to enjoy the fruit of their own work. Just to be further entangled in the material bondage. So who are the misers? Misers are those people who are attached to the fruits or the results of their own work. Those people are misers. Now we can ask why? Why they are misers? They are doing their duty and they are getting fruits and they are enjoying the fruits. How we can call them misers? Because just now we saw that who is a miserly person? Who has something very valuable, but he doesn't utilize it in a proper manner. Now let's fit that definition here. Okay. Now Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here that here, like misers, unfortunate people or unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Lord. So what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that the human form of life, we have got this particular gift of a valuable thing, right? A valuable asset, which is the human body. We are not using or utilizing this human body in the service of the Lord, in the service of Krishna. Rather than that, we are using it in gratifying our own senses, right? In sense gratification. So that's called, enjoying the fruits of our own activities. So that's why those people are called misers. We have a very valuable asset, a human body, a human life. In scriptures, so the human body is many places it's mentioned about the human body that is such a valuable gift. We can utilize the human body in the service of the Lord and perfect our lives, right? Because we belong to the Lord, we are spirit souls, and Krishna is the source of all the spirit souls, of all the living entities. And just like there's a very nice example. So let's say we want all the organs or all the parts of our body to be nourished. So what should we do? Should we give food to hand separately, nose separately, eyes separately, or legs separately? Should we give food separately to all the parts of the body? Or what should we do to nourish them? Where should we put the food? In the mouth. And where it goes? In the stomach. Then what happens? Digestion happens. And then naturally the nourishment goes to the entire body, all the parts of the body. So this is a very nice example we can relate it to ourselves. So all the parts of the body, if we give food to the stomach, right? It's a central part where we give the food and then all the nourishment goes to the entire body and all the parts of the body. So we can relate it in our case that we are the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord is like a whole, complete whole, and we are his parts and parcels, right? Just like organs are parts or these parts and these are the parts and parts of the body, right? Complete body. So we are the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. If we engage in his service, right, or if we engage in Krishna consciousness, that is the food for the soul. So then not naturally or automatically we'll get nourishment if we try to please the Lord, right? So if all the parts of the body try to serve the body, then automatically all the parts of the body will be satisfied, right? Or let's say the hand is being used to put the food in the mouth. So basically the hand is serving and the food goes to the stomach. So hand is basically serving the stomach, right? Or serving the complete body. And automatically the nourishment goes to the hand. So we have to serve the Lord and automatically we'll get nourished. And our life will be perfect. So that's why a human body is very valuable, this human life. So it's a gift. It's a gift of the Lord. And if we employ this human energy in the service of the Lord, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning at the end, then we will not be called misers. Otherwise, if we are using this human form which is meant for self-realization, and if we are using it for temporary things, for getting temporary pleasures, to gratify the temporary senses in a temporary way, then we are not utilizing it properly. Then we are called misers. So we are fitting that definition here. A person who has a very valuable thing, but is not using it properly. Right? We have a very valuable gift as human body. We are not utilizing it properly in self-realization. So that's the definition of miser in this context. Now, second thing, let's see So here Krishna is mentioning that, oh Arjuna, keep all the abominable activities far distant, or leave all the abominable activities by devotional service or by rendering service to the Lord. Now, what do we mean by abominable activities? So here Srila Prabhupada is giving again the definition of abominable. What are called the abominable activities? Which activities we can call abominable, right? So yeah, and here we can see. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all the activities are abominable. It's a very clear definition. Now, Srila Prabhupada is giving the reason. Why? Because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. So if we are not working in Krishna consciousness, if we are not rendering service to the Lord, if we are enjoying the fruits of our own activities ourselves, if we are attached to the fruits, the results, we are doing activity and then attached to the fruits. Again, we are doing activity attached to the fruits. We are trying to enjoy the fruits. And we are not doing it for Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure, for our own pleasure we are doing. Then those activities are called abominable. Because what they will do? They will continuously bind us, in the cycle of actions and reactions, birth and death. So when the reactions come, we have to take another body in the next life. Again the death comes, again some more actions, again more reactions will come, again next life, next body. So this cycle will go on. So that's why Krishna is telling us, abandon or keep away or leave all the abominable activities by. Now there should be an alternative also, right? If we don't do abominable activities, what should we do? So we should do devotional service. Here Krishna is himself mentioning. We should do devotional service. Right? So those are the abominable activities which we should try to replace with Krishna conscious activities. Activities will be same. Let's say we are working. Whatever things we are doing will be same. The consciousness will change. That now we are doing it for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? Consciousness. That's why Bhagavad Gita is all about the transformation of consciousness rather than changing something physically. Okay? So it's all the transformation of the consciousness. That's what Bhagavad Gita does. As we saw, right? Arjuna was there in the battlefield in the starting and in the end also. Before he got inspired to fight. The physical situation was same, but why Arjuna was inspired? So how Arjuna got inspired? Because his consciousness got transformed. The same setup, same situation of battlefield, but now Arjuna is inspired to fight. Before he was Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is all about transformation of consciousness. Now the last thing, let's see. Again, we have discussed this, but let's discuss again. So is Bhagavad Gita trying to promote the message of escapism? No. We can see here, right? In previous verses we saw that Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight, to do his duty, right? Krishna never is, told Arjuna to leave everything and escape the world. No. He has to do his duty, but he has to change the consciousness. That's it. And he has to do it for the pleasure of the Lord. So here Krishna is telling, right? In that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Surrender unto the Lord and fight. Right? Fight for me. Fight for the Lord. So that's what Krishna is telling. So Bhagavad Gita never inspires or never promotes the message of escapism. So that's what Bhagavad Gita does. But what Bhagavad Gita does, it actually transforms, or there's a transformation of self-centeredness to selflessness, or abominable activities to devotional service. That's what Krishna is saying here. Just transform your activities from abominable activities to devotional service. So that's what Krishna is trying to tell here. That do your duty, but do it as a devotional service to me. Do it for me. Right? So, and then you will be. So what is the result now? The result will be that you will be saved from the cycle of birth and death. The reaction will not come. Otherwise, if you do it for yourself, that I'm doing it for myself, I will enjoy the fruits, then we'll be caught up in the cycle of birth and death. Action, reaction, birth and death. And we'll be free if we do devotional service. So it's a nice proposal Krishna is giving here. That perform devotional service and be free from the cycle of birth and death. That's what Krishna is trying to say, tell Arjuna here. Yeah, so, and then in the next few verses we will see that if we engage in the devotional service, what is the result? Well, we have already discussed in brief, but profoundly Krishna will talk about that, the result part of devotional service. So that we'll see in the next few verses. So we'll stop here. If someone has any questions, so we can take. Questions, so we can stop here. And so basically, we all have our duty to first of all to transform our lives by reading Bhagavad Gita, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with the devotees, and then perfecting our lives. And at the same time, we should share this message with others, because how Srila Prabhupada took so many difficulties, and then, but just to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master, he endeavored to his best, depending on the Lord, that to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master and just to preach the message of Krishna consciousness in the entire world. So let's be grateful to Srila Prabhupada, and then let's also extend this mercy by sharing the message with others, and and then we'll be actually grateful to the Lord. to Srila Prabhupada by actually perfecting our lives and then also sharing with others so that everybody can actually get benefited in the entire world. So this Hare Krishna movement is going on and is a prediction of the Lord that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has already predicted that in all the towns and villages my holy name will be spread and will be sung. So we can just be instruments in that. So the river is already flowing, but what we can do, we can just wash our hands in that. So just we can be the instruments and then, but it's going to happen. There is no doubt. So we can be instruments in that way by sharing the message with others. Hare Krishna.